Right, I fixed it. So let's do modern versus old.
See, this is the new merch that's coming out. And you better get it today, because it'll almost be sold out. Subscription below so you can get this amazing, fantastic cup that has ever been born in the cup history.
Right, we are using the Hobby Tools Universal Pressure Tester. You can see it does more than just compression. And the way you set it up is you get your all your pipes and everything you need. You get the right sensor, but the beauty thing of it is, even if you put the wrong sensor on, it will tell you. So if I go to compression, look, it'll tell you which one to put on, and it won't allow you to go further if you put the wrong one on. So you can't really go wrong there. And also you need the special one-way valve. Now you'd be really, really stupid not to put the one-way valve on and try and use the compression. So the one-way valve goes on, and now what we've got to do, I've disconnected the fuel, so there's no, well, there's going to be a little bit of fuel going to go into it, but not too much. And we're just going to do a compression test on all the cylinders now, and yeah, we'll see what they say. Right, what also makes this really handy is all I do is I just press the arrow key to put it down, and it stores all my pressures for me. So the throttle is fully on. You just need to connect the battery. Right, because I am absolutely so professional, I obviously checked that the camera could see the screen. Yeah. Anyway, you can't see the screen, but you'll hear what I'm saying, and I say the pressure as it's coming up. All you've really missed, you can kind of see it, but not really, is the little green bar going up. So there's a little green bar going up, and it tells you what compression that I've just set. I think I have a picture, so I'll put the picture up so you roughly know what it looks like, and then once you hear me talking, it's just, yeah. Great. I'm so professional I can't even get the colour right. Blue bar. Just turn off now. Right, so number one. Right, there we go, 10.7 bar. So that is a little bit lower than it was before. Like I said, I would kind of expect that. We had 100, I'll have to look in the book, was it 175 PSI we had before? And we've got 10.7 bar, which is roughly 155-ish. So all I got to do now is, bang, number two, swap it around to cylinder number two. 11.8, so it's a bar higher. It's roughly 11.8, roughly 160 something, 170-ish, and around there. Number three. Now this one was the lowest before, if you remember. 10.6, sorry, 9.6. Roughly 135-ish, maybe a little bit more. So again, that would make sense because it was the lowest before. So number four now. Now, number four. 9.9. Roughly 142, 43 PSI. Right, so here we go. We've got our cold start with 3 cylinders leaking oil, or our cold compression, sorry. And then we've got our hot compression. Now, the numbers are, you know, a little bit all over the place. That was done with the manual gauge, so, you know, I could be slightly off there. Well, obviously, you've got a digital gauge, it's just a lot more accurate. But it was roughly about there. You saw on video when I did it, it was roughly in and around there. And yeah, we're still looking good. Obviously, number 3 is our lowest. But like I said, the oil could be making them other 3 cylinders higher. So what we're going to do now is, I mean, we're still good compression, you know, considering the age of the engine, considering the mileage, the compression is still very good, and it's driving and starting lovely, as you heard. So I know we haven't really got any. I'm not worried about it, but obviously we've got valves that are leaking. You know, we've got potential problems that are going to cause us issues in the future. But as it stands now, we are looking kind of okay. So what we're going to do now is get the camera. I'm going to let the engine cool down. We'll get the camera in. And we'll see what more we can see. Is there more oil? Is there less oil? Is there more rust? Is there less rust? Put your answers down below what you think it's going to be. Okay, I've got everything set up. What I'm expecting to see now is less oil in the cylinders. That's why the compression's maybe gone down. And I'm also expecting to see, you know, a lot less rust because essentially the pistons have gone up and down. And they've basically cleaned the cylinders. So we'll crack on with this. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see if it's improved any, and it's just interesting to see, isn't it? I've done a separate video on this scope. It's oh, there you go, drop it. It's a YouTube short. It is that good. We've just seen the piston rings and the gap of the piston rings. Now that is mind blowing. But you'll see that on another video. I mean, that is just mind-blowing. Right. We will turn this bad boy on. And we will see. Turn the brightness all the way up. We will see what we can see. If there's any difference. Very interesting. Cylinder number 1. Already, look at that, look how dry that is, which is, like I said, I was kind of expecting it to be dry, to be honest. So that piston's completely dry. Now let's look at the wall. And again, yeah, I mean, we've still got the pit in there. We knew we'd have the pitting there. But the surface rust is kind of, I'm amazed. Just how good compression this is, considering all the pitting we've got. I mean, look at that. And this is another good thing about the camera. You won't normally see this on a camera like this. So, you know, when you're used to seeing it, you think it's looking a lot worse than what it is, and it kind of is. But it's showing you what it truly is. That's the key. Yeah, it's just amazing how much. You can see there's oil there, look. Now let's look at the top. Yeah, you can see. Look at the other valve. Okay, so it's all cleaned up, which is what we'd expect as regards oil. But we would kind of expect that. Cylinder number 2. All the cylinders right the way up. And again, a little bit more oil on this one, but wasn't cylinder number 2, that was the highest compression we got, wasn't it? Oh, hey, hello. Oh look, there's the valve. And it looks like it's a non-interference engine. There's the other one. God, this camera's just unbelievable. And that's what I was saying before about with the way this engine is. A normal one of these wouldn't, because I've just gone straight into, at the minute my camera is straight. I haven't angled it up, and you can see the valve there, look. So if you was just to put a 90-degree mirror on a normal scope, you wouldn't see the top of the head on this. So there we go. So if I remember correctly, that one was worse, or the highest. Yeah, so we've still got oil in there compared to the other one. You can see it, and it was the highest out of the 3. Right, so number 3, again, that's dry as a bone, but it kind of was before anyway. that just what you can see at the back is just a little bit of a reflection from the light, but it's dry. With the pistons being all the way up, it's a bit more awkward to see the wall, but we can see the wall on the others. Don't need to see the wall on every single one because we know what they were like. But it's good that cylinder number 4 now. It's good that essentially the compression test is lining up to what I thought it should be. So number 2 is our worst leaking cylinder as regards the oil, which is the highest compression. And the number 3 is our driest cylinder, which lines up to our kind of lowest compression, but still good. And then number 4 is, yeah, we've got a bit of oil there, haven't we? It's not as dry. There we go, look. Yeah. There's our wall. There's our pitting. Our rust. And there's our 2 valves. That really does tell us a lot. We know we've got oil leaking into number 2 seems to be the worst, followed by number 4 and number 1. Number 3 is the driest. Our compressions are good and it drives absolutely lovely. There is damage and rust on the actual walls of the engine, which, because it looks quite bad and quite a lot, I'm surprised the compression is as good as it is. But like I said, with it being such a really good quality camera, it's showing up a lot more than what I would normally be seeing in other cameras I've used. So when you get something, it's like HD telly, you know, this is a HD camera at the end of the day, so it's going to be a lot better. So that's why I'm seeing that. But we know the engine is good. We know it's driving, we know it's starting, we know it's stopping, the acceleration is fine. We just now know because of the camera that we've got, you know, leaking valve seals. So the engine is going to need, you know, an overhaul, and we've got leaking sumps. We've got a few issues with the car we've still got to sort out. We've got to sort out the heater controls, we've got to sort out a few things over there, temperature sensor and stuff like that. But it's yeah, it's good. I'm not overly concerned about anything yet, and you know, modern technology shines a light inside the engine, and it's interesting to see we're the first people in there since this thing was built over 40 years ago, 45 odd years, whatever it is. You know, we're the first people to look inside. This engine has done a lot of mileage, it's been abused, and yet it's still going absolutely perfect. The carburetor was a little bit dodgy, but we did a full video on how to rebuild that, and that's brought it back to life. We've done other videos on the heating system and a few bits, getting it started, freeing up the brakes, doing all that. So all them videos are online. But I don't know which one's coming out first, but they will be there. Okay, if my theory is correct, this now should be more oil in these cylinders than they originally were after we start the engine, if that makes sense. So, quickly look. This is number 4. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, so just as we thought. Now we know number 3. We know number 3 is practically okay. Number 2. Oh, look at that. You can actually. Hold on. then. Number one is most probably the best out the three that are leaking. This is the top piston on number 4. You can actually see just how bad it is on this one. See all the new oil around there, look? That's all fresh oil from it just being sitting. You can actually see, look at that, you can actually see the oil line. See that? See that stain? So there we go. Just as I thought. Just as I thought. That's what we would see. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the spark plugs back in. It's been about 3 days or so, maybe 4 days since I've been here last. Put the spark plugs back in. It is cold. It was snowing yesterday. It's like 3 degrees or something, 3 or 4 degrees. So it's going to be interesting to see how easy this starts after that much time. And how good did I get the carburetor, or how good or bad did I get it? We'll soon find out. Right, moment of truth. Like I said, it's been 3 or 4 days. It's like 3 or 4 degrees outside. It was snowing the other day, so it's cold, really cold outside. Let's see how easy this starts. So first thing we need to do, fully on the throttle, set the choke, make sure it's in neutral. Oh, I need to put the battery on. Right, so the battery's now on. We've set the choke. Double check to make sure it's in neutral. I'm not pressing anything, just turn the key. Hey, that wasn't bad. Now all the petrol did go back, so it took a bit to prime. The petrol is sucking back on this. But just listen to how that sounds from a cold start. Actually, we're running out of petrol. There's no petrol coming through. Oh, hold on a second. What a tit. What a tit. What an absolute tit. I didn't have the fuel pipe on because I disconnected when I was doing the camera work and the compression test. It was only started for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to leave this now for half an hour or so because I've still got a bit of work to do. Let this completely cool down. Then we'll try it again because I was thinking it should have started a little bit easier. It still started good, but all the fuel had come out. There was a little bit left in the carburetor, but of course when I disconnected it from there, all the fuel came out. So there was no new fuel going in. So give it half an hour, let's see how easy it starts. Right, what I've done is, I said I'd leave it until the evening to give this a true test. So let's just see. Now there's actually fuel going towards it. Oh yes! That's the reserve tank, by the way, so don't worry about that. We'll give it a bit of a throttle. Oh, it takes the throttle! That's what it struggled with before. It wouldn't take the throttle. It wouldn't take the throttle. It was kind of a bit hesitant. And if you tried to put throttle on it straight away, it would just cut out. Now, I don't know if you can hear that, but now it's taken the throttle absolutely lovely. Perfect. So that is a great sign. We know we've done well. Let's listen to the engine. The air filter and everything isn't on it or isn't connected, but sounds sweet. The camera never picks it up properly. When you hear an engine through a camera microphone, it never picks it up to like it is in real life. I'm happy with that. Takes the throttle. Takes the throttle lovely. Can't complain with that. Sorted. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most important, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.